Hello everyone, this is the logarithm graphs mini lecture. So the general form of the equation of a graph for a logarithm function is y equals a ln of bx. So there we see the graph of y equals 1 ln of 1x or just ln x. So this is the case where a and b are both 1. Recall that with exponentials, the asymptote was the x-axis, so you had a horizontal asymptote, whereas with logarithms, the asymptote is vertical and the logarithm graph is all on one side of the y-axis. So if b is positive, then the curve due to the logarithm graph is going to be on the right-hand side, whereas if we make b negative, so we look at the graph of y equals ln of negative x, that, as we said with exponentials, if we change x to negative x, that gives you the mirror image of the graph. So that means everything gets moved from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. So that's the case where b is negative, everything is going to be on the left-hand side of the graph. And if instead of putting the negative inside the bracket with the x, we put the negative in the front of the whole bracket, that has the effect of turning the whole graph upside down. And because b is in this case positive, it's ln of x and not ln of negative x here. It's on the right-hand side of the y-axis. So here's a typical question. We have a logarithm graph that goes through 2 points. Our general form here is y equals a ln of bx. Now the 2 points that you're given, one is the x-intercept and one is another point. So we will use the x-intercept, which is the point 2, 0. So if we substitute in 2, 0, we're going to get y is 0 is a times ln of b times 2. So 0 equals a ln b times 2. We've substituted in that point 2, 0. Okay, so at this stage, we still have both unknowns in our equation. We have a and b, but if we divide both sides of that equation by a, so that's going to give us 0 over a. So 0 over a is ln of 2b. And if we work out 0 divided by a, that's just 0. So 0 equals ln of 2b, and we now need to solve that for b. So to get b, what we will need to do is to get rid of the ln, which means we need to take e to the power of both sides. So if we take e to the 0, which is the opposite of ln, that will give us 2b, and of course e to the 0 is 1. So therefore 1 equals 2b, and therefore b is a half, which is 0.5. And if we put b equals 0.5 into our original form, which is what we started with, which was the a ln of bx, so let's put that back into your original equation. What you're going to end up with is you are going to end up with y equals a times ln of b, which we now know to be 0.5x. So we've substituted in our value of b that we've just found. Now we need to put in the other point, which is 5, 1. So let's substitute in 5, 1. So x is 5, y equals 1. That gives us 1 equals a ln of 0.5x, which is 0.5 times 5, and therefore we can find, firstly, let's calculate ln of 0.5 times 5. We have 1 equals a ln of 2.5, and if we divide through by 2.5, we get a equals 1 divided by ln of 2.5, which is 1.09. So our equation is y equals 1.09 with the a times ln of b, which was 0.5x. Okay, so that's the equation, and we have another question to find the equation of the graph of. Again, we have 2 points. We have the point, an x-intercept of 0.5, 0, and a y-intercept of 3, 2. So our general form is y equals a ln of bx, and if we substitute in 0.50, then we get 0 is a ln of b multiplied by 0.5, and then we will need to work out the value of b first. So we get b by working out, we get b by firstly dividing through by a. So if we divide both sides by a, we get 0 divided by a, which is 0, equals ln of b times 0.5. And then if we take e to the power of both sides, we get e to the 0 equals 0.5b, and e to the 0 is 1, so 1 equals 0.5b, and that means that b must be 2. So our equation so far, if we put b equals 2 back into a ln of bx, we get y equals a ln of 2x. So that's our equation so far. Now we need to substitute in that 0.32. And if we substitute in 3, 2, so y is 2 equals a ln of 2 times x is 3. And if we work out 2 times 3 inside the ln there, we've got 2 equals a ln of 6. And whatever ln 6 is, it's just a number, so we can divide both sides by ln 6, because what you've got on that right-hand side is a times ln 6, so therefore a is going to be 2 divided by ln of 6, which is 1.12, and therefore your equation is going to be y equals a, which we've just found to be 1.2 ln of 2x. So there's our equation, and that concludes the mini lecture on logarithms. Thank you for watching.